All right. Hello, everybody, seventh graders. Today is Thursday, April 2nd. We just had a Google Meets, our very first Google Meets at 10 o'clock. Wow, that seemed like a long time ago. Yeah, we had it at 10 o'clock. It went really well. For those that attended, thank you. I will add extra credit to your assignment, the amount that we agreed on, to this assignment that we just did, your euphemisms notes. Okay. And I know that we also were supposed to hand in chapters 4 and 5 catch. Okay. For the giver. So I hope everybody's doing well. Assignments are coming in. If you did not turn in your assignments or you had 2 or more missing assignments, I went ahead and called your house. I talked to a lot of you guys personally. Elena, I've been working with you, explaining things to you. Bradley, we've been texting. So a lot of you guys are reaching out. I appreciate that. I'm trying to understand. Also, shout out to Miss B and Miss Pauline for really helping students understand things and what's going on. So I really appreciate everybody's help. It's a struggle, right? And we're really trying to understand what's going on and in the world, and then of course we're trying to understand what's going on in the giver. So far we've gone through 5 chapters, and Jonas is still apprehensive and nervous about what he's going to do, and still trying to figure out what his assignment is in the community. And we've learned different terms in the community as we've read. So I put another assignment on today in regards to euphemisms. Euphemisms are used often in the novel. So by Lois Lauer, The Giver, and we also see that we're kind of learning some truths about The Giver and what's going on in The Giver, as far as what is really going on in The Giver, I guess we could say, as far as Jonas and what his future might be. So Lois Lauer uses euphemisms to kind of hide the truths and the reality of the community. And we see that through some of the terms that she uses. And I've been kind of a spoiler alert, and I've been kind of ruining some of it for you guys, but I've only been doing that so you guys understand what you're reading and you guys better understand the concepts. So, my bad, but at the same time, I really want to make sure you guys are understanding the concepts of the story. So we went over euphemisms today in Google Meets, and it's on Google Classroom. A lot of you guys are really confused when it comes to the notes. Make sure that you access the PowerPoint from the euphemism assignment, and then you copy down the notes on the Google Doc. You're just copying down the underlined words. We've done that in class. But several of you, 7th graders, not 8th graders, have been really confused about it. And I'm not really sure what you're confused about, but I hope that you guys start to understand that when we do notes, it's just you copying from one doc from the PowerPoint to your Google Doc. Okay, your Google Doc, which is your euphemism notes. Okay, euphemisms. Euphemisms are when you say something less harsh, something that could be taken as harsh or hurtful, but you say it in a less harsh or a nicer way. That's what a euphemism is. So we see a lot of euphemisms in our reality and in today in our society. Okay, like instead of saying, "Hey, Mr. A, you're fat," a euphemism, a less harsh way, would be to say, "Hey, Mr. A, you're big boned." Okay, instead of saying, "Hey, man, I'm going to fire you," if you're a boss, saying that to someone who works for you, you would say, "Hey, man, you're going to be laid off." Okay, it's a less harsh way to say, "I'm firing you. You're no longer going to work here." Okay, so we use euphemisms to make something that might seem harsh or offensive less harsh. Okay, and we see them in our society, and definitely Lois Lauer uses them in The Giver. Okay. On the notes, there's several examples, and we talked about it in Google Meets today, with several students that were with me. We talked about several different types of examples of um, euphemisms. Okay, so another euphemism would be, instead of saying that you killed your dog or your dog died, you could say your dog got put to sleep, right? Through euthanization, injection by poison. Okay, so, or I don't even know if it's poison, but it's something that kills you or kills the dog. So that would be put to sleep, would be the euphemism. Okay, so we often hear these kinds of euphemisms. Another one would be kick the bucket, which also means to die. Okay, usually of natural causes. Okay, someone who's old kicks the bucket. That's a euphemism for death. Okay, so we have a lot of euphemisms in our society. Now, the euphemisms in the giver. One, and I'm sorry I'm spoiling it, but they keep talking about releasing. They talk about releasing the old, right, in the house of old. And they have a ceremony of release where they celebrate their life and talk about their life. And that's discussed, I think, in chapter 4. And with one of the old ladies, Larissa, that when Jonas is doing his volunteer hours in the House of Old with Asher and Fiona. So, release. Also, you get released when you break the serious rules 3 times in the community. Okay, so you get released when you either commit a crime or break a rule, or when you're old and you're in the House of Old and you reach a certain point and they release you. So several of you guys have told me that release means that you leave the community. Some people have also told me they just let you run wild in the woods outside the community. And those are all good guesses. But release actually means death. Similar to putting someone to sleep or putting a dog to sleep, like euthanization. They put the citizens that they were going to release to sleep through deadly poison, which I think actually is how they kill them in the community. So release is a euphemism for killing somebody or somebody dying. Okay, so sorry I spoiled that. You weren't going to find it out till later on in the giver, but I needed to do that so you guys understand what euphemisms are and understand what's going on in this community. So when I teach this in class, I usually don't spoil it like that. We kind of just usually leave it open-ended. But release is that they will be injected with poison and they will die. Okay, so that's what makes it seem like it's a utopian society, but actually it's going to be a dystopian society. All right. Also, the stirrings. Jonas gets stirrings in chapter 4, and he gets stirrings when he has a dream about Fiona. So those stirrings are to have kind of sexual dreams about somebody. And when, he's hitting that age, right? When he starts having feelings for the opposite sex or whatever. And so he starts having feelings for Fiona, has these dreams. They don't want others to have opposite or feelings about the opposite sex or feelings about other people in that kind of sexual way. So they call them the stirrings, and there's pills for that. Okay, so stirrings means to have those strong, heavy dreams about someone else. That's a euphemism. That's a euphemism for that. Okay, so it just means, having those kinds of dreams that are inappropriate in this community to have towards somebody else. You're not supposed to have feelings in this community. So stirrings is that euphemism. Okay, so that's one euphemism. Birth mother is a euphemism, just kind of a fancier way to say, or a more sophisticated way to say someone gives birth for a living. And that's a job, and that's an assignment. That's a job in the community. Okay, assignment is a euphemism for job. So these are just more sophisticated or less harsh ways of saying something or making something sound more dignified. Okay, so that's the euphemism notes and the euphemism PowerPoint. We will see various different euphemisms in the novel The Giver. Those are the main ones: the stirrings and the release. And we see some others as well as we go through. Um, if you have any questions about chapters 4 and 5, let me know. That was due. Um, that was due yesterday, or yeah, I think it was yesterday. But I will accept it today. But just get it done. Okay, so for chapters 4 and 5, and then of course the notes by the end of tomorrow, before midnight tomorrow. I will release another assignment where I want you guys to do a worksheet in regards to euphemisms in the giver, but I'll wait on that till after we get back from spring break, okay? Because spring break is next week. However, during spring break, I want you guys to go ahead and read chapters 6 and 7 of the giver. So get that done. Then we'll go ahead and talk more about euphemisms after break. Google Meets went great today. I love seeing you guys, talking to you guys. It really felt like kind of similar to a real classroom feeling. So that was really, really positive. Thank you for those that came. I think it was like a good 9 or 10 that showed up. So we need more. We need everybody. We need to get everybody in there. And hopefully we can have more Google Meets in the future. Maybe instead of once a week on Thursday, we maybe try to fit one in on Thursdays, around Tuesday as well. And maybe make it twice a week. Okay, as long as you guys behave, I can really help you guys. Okay, understand the story, get through it, answer questions, write summaries, do catch, all the good stuff. Okay, and we'll also probably do some vocab activity. We can't really do spelling tests, but I'll figure out a way we can do some vocab on Quizlet and things like that, and I can test you on the definitions of words. So we'll keep building, we'll keep growing. I really appreciate everybody's compliments and positive attitudes, and people who came to the meet, and people who I've been talking to and calling with, and then them reciprocating and doing the work. I appreciate the parents and for all their support. And I appreciate, all my colleagues, Miss Maria, Miss Pauline, Miss B especially have helped me with my class specifically, but everybody in our team is doing great. So I hope everybody has a great spring break. Email me if you have questions about these assignments that I've just mentioned, or about the events going on in the giver, or the concept euphemisms. And I'm out. All right. Have a good one.